Today we're joined by Rixt Altenburg, Manager Data and Analytics, and Mark van der Velde, CIO at Rijnstate Hospital. Together, they are leading the development and implementation of data and AI in the Rijnstate processes to improve patient care and decision making. Digitalization plays an increasingly important role in the strategy of many hospitals. Mark, as CIO, you have a clear view of this. Could you tell us more about how AI fits into your digital strategy within Rijnstate?
Yeah, sure, Marcia. First of all, as a hospital, our main focus is, of course, patient care and employee satisfaction. Let's make that very clear. But we have learned that technology can really help to improve either of them. And I think the first time that we recognized that was in 2018, when we started to develop a digital strategy, which was published in 2019. And in the years after that, we found out that having a separate digital strategy and a hospital strategy is not the best way forward. So recently we released a hospital strategy where our vision on how we use technology is integrated in our hospital strategy. So digital is normal practice in our hospital, so to say. We do that, we introduce technology in 3 parallel tracks in our hospital. The first track is the continuous improvement of our core technology. The second track is that we use that core technology to optimize the various care processes in our organization. Or even, and that's the third track, we do initiatives to transform healthcare in order to be ready for the future challenges. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the Gartner hype cycle, generative AI is positioned just below the top of the hype cycle. Mm-hmm. And Gartner says that we are shifting from a vendor race to an AI outcome race. And that's exactly what we are trying to do in our hospital. By carefully managing those 3 parallel tracks that I just mentioned, we are building the capability to be able to use AI to its full strength to improve healthcare.
Interesting, very interesting. So as CIO, do you mainly follow the Gartner advice? How do you use Gartner insights into your daily decisions?
Yeah, we use Gartner insights a lot because they are independent in their research. So we have conversations with analysts. We go to the conference. We use a lot of their library to help shape our own vision. It's still our own vision, but we use a lot of their insights.
Yeah. So you're actually blended since 2019 the hospital strategy and the digitalization strategy into one. So let's go into a deep dive, Rixt. Could you tell us more about your data and AI use cases that has been implemented successfully?
Sure, yeah. I can give you a few different types of examples that show both data and AI use cases. When it comes to data and data insights for the hospital, we have been working on that for quite some years. We publish our dashboards to the whole hospital through our internal information platform. First we started out like 8 years ago with mainly HR and financial insights there. But in recent years, we have been working a lot together also with healthcare professionals and healthcare teams to help them work more data-driven in their work. One nice example of that is in the area of prostate cancer. There we support with our data and dashboards the process of the doctor and patient that have to decide together on what is the best treatment approach to follow. With data we can show actually to the patient in the consultation room what are the expected long-term effects of, for example, having an operation or having irradiation, and what is the effect on their quality of life. And I think that's a very nice example where we can make data, really part of the healthcare process, and also let patients benefit from the insights you can get. So that's really a data example, no AI included, but also valuable. Then if we go to where did we really successfully implement an AI application, well, that would be within the radiology department. We use an application called Bone View that allows when a patient comes in with an expected fracture, of course they get their pictures, X-ray pictures taken. And before, patients had to wait until a radiologist would have time to look at the X-ray and decide if the person either could go home because there was no fracture or have a treatment. But now that AI is incorporated in the X-rays, if there's no fracture seen by the AI, the patient can go home at once, which of course is nice for the patient, but also for the radiologist that doesn't get interrupted the whole time during the day to look at X-ray pictures. Of course, we want to make sure that this is correct. So the radiologist on the end of the working day will always look at all X-ray pictures that were taken, and just in case it would happen, the AI is wrong and there would be a small fracture, a patient would be called to come back in. And we monitor this process very closely to make sure it's running okay. But I think it's a very nice example of where AI is really incorporated in a working process, and really has a benefit for patients and our radiologists.
Very interesting. So what you see here is that visual recognition and AI, they are beautiful blended. Mark, you also have this AI application for large language models, where you use voice into text. Can you tell something more about that in terms of consultation rooms, how you use it?
Yeah, we have a system, an AI system running in neurology, where the system listens to a physician and patients when they have a consultation. And at the end of the consultation, the system generates a summary and is even able to modify the summary in structured text and put it into the EHR for the physician just to approve it, and the data is structured in the EHR. The interesting thing there is that of course, we have worked a lot with the neurologists. We worked a lot with the physicians to train the model in this area. But in what we also found out that in the conversation, the physician is talking to the patient instead of typing on their keyboard.
So the interaction between doctor and patient really changes a lot.
Really changes a lot, yes. And that has both a benefit for the physician and for the patient. For the physician, if the physician talks very clearly and structured to the patient, saying things like, so let me summary what we just discussed, and he gives us a clear summary, or the result of the physical exam was, so talking in a very clear way, the system will make a very good summary, so he really gets the benefit of a more efficient consultation. But the other part is that the patient gets much more attention from the physician in the discussion. So a lot of patients express their gratefulness to the doctor, how good they are in their communication with the patient. So both the patient satisfaction and the result for the doctor is very clear. And this example I like it because it's not only efficiency improvement, but it really helps to improve patient care.
Yeah. So the impact is huge. The doctor saves a lot of time, and the patient is more happy in the end. Rixt, now we have two beautiful examples of AI, But you also use AI in another process, which is pancreatitis. Can you tell us something more about that?
We started creating a prediction model that predicts actually within a clinical process if patients come in with acute pancreatitis, which is an infection, and we predict based on their lab scores whether it will be a mild or severe development of the disease. And the outcome of this we wanted to show to the doctor, so he could use that as an input to decide should this patient go home early with home monitoring, or should the patient stay in the hospital. But actually, it's a successful example, not because it was fully implemented and used, but because we learned a lot from it. So we used it to help build up our capability of doing prediction models internally, both the technical side and the skills within the people. But also we learned that to be able to use our own models within clinical decisions and support doctors, it requires a lot of work on the regulatory side. So it's seen as a medical device, and of course, and that's a good thing, it requires a lot of proof to show that it is safe to use in a clinical situation. And in this case, we decided to put the model on hold, and for now focus more on the non-clinical prediction models to create internally, like predicting no-shows or finding patterns in incident reports, and just be a bit more on the safe side of that.
So you really had this huge learning cycle in creating this beautiful experiment, but in the end you didn't decide to really put it into practice because of legislation and so on. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting insight. Mark, I can imagine also that integrating AI into your EHR is also very important. Can you tell us more about your vision about integrating it into EHR?
Yeah, I can. I just gave the example of the consultation where the system was listening during the consultation. We work very closely together with a company called Autoscriber and of course Chipsoft, our EHR vendor. And they help us a lot with the integration of various models. I think that in the coming years to come, there will be a lot of AI models that will be integrated, that we want to have integrated in our EHR. And what Chipsoft has done is they created what I will call an AI engine, which makes it possible to integrate various models into the system. The system generates the prompts and is able to provide the model with the patient data that the model needs, and the other way around, the result of the models can be incorporated into the patient record. And that mechanism makes the EHR very flexible for us to decide which models we are going to integrate into our processes. So that's the kind of flexibility that we need from our vendor, and they are delivering, and that's very nice.
Yeah, I can also imagine that the vision of Chipsoft when it comes to AI is rather important to stay close to. How do you actually make your own decision when it comes to that typical process or collaboration with vendors like Chipsoft?
Yeah, Chipsoft has lots of ways to have some influence from the hospitals to know how they should develop their roadmap. So we can work together in what models will be of benefit and what not. We will see, and we will see in the end how that works out. Like Autoscriber is now being integrated, but maybe in a year's time, Duck's Copilot will be integrated, and then we are able to experiment with those kind of models. So that flexibility is very important, and working closely together to develop that roadmap.
Yeah, interesting. So to really understand how your data and AI platform works, Rixt, I'm very curious. Can you tell us more about the choices you made in terms of platform and technology, how it has been put together?
Yes. We decided about a year ago to build up a modern data platform next to our on-premise data warehouse. And the reason to do that was that we wanted to be able to create our own machine learning models, but also to be able to implement models. And we wanted to be able to use different types of data. So within a hospital setting, there's a lot of text data that is available and that we have to work with, and our new platform should be able to offer that. And also we needed the possibility to be faster in offering insights and processing data, like not once a day, but until near real time. Data processing is important for the type of use cases we want to be able to do. So our platform, we built it in Microsoft Azure using Databricks, and there we used an approach with the architecture to use a data lakehouse and medallion architecture on how we layer the data within the platform. And I think that works really well. We didn't fully develop it yet. We have it available now and are filling it with more data, more use cases. So that's where we are right now.
Yeah, interesting. So you have a very modern, flexible approach when it comes to data and in your data platform. Do you recommend hospitals, maybe even smaller hospitals, to have this knowledge in-house, or what do you recommend, or to use in-house knowledge and external expertise?
Yeah, well, I think what we did was use external expertise to build up this platform and not find out everything on our own. But we made sure to work closely together with the internal colleagues, and we're still working on that, making sure that the decisions on how we continue building the platform are actually made by the internal team, based on advice from externals, making sure that it becomes our own platform. Yeah, and your question about should a hospital, even a small hospital, build up this expertise internally? Well, I guess maybe you don't need a really big team of this expertise, but you will need some expertise, because even if you don't develop models yourself, you will have to implement them in your own setting, and you will have to know, what it includes to do that. So you need at least a bit of this.
Maybe a bit of both, because internal people need to know the context.
Yeah,
and external people have this specific specialization. Mark, what concrete results in terms of AI are you most proud of, and what were the main obstacles?
Well, I think the consultation model is something that we are really proud of, and it really shows that if you invest in technology, the technology is improving so fast that the real benefit is in the adoption and in the usage in daily life. And this is such a clear example where that's the case. So that's the thing I'm most proud of, I think. But we also see, and that's a big challenge, is that the models, they are often cloud-based. They do a lot of data processing. Not all models are fast enough to be used in a production environment in a hospital setting. So if a system takes 10 minutes to make a summary, it's unusable in real life. We also see that some of the technology that also Rixt talked about is originally developed for secondary use of data, let's say research. And now we are incorporated in our daily routine, and it should be fast and reliable. And there are some technical challenges to make sure that it really works always, because that's what a physician expects. So the technological risks for the daily production is still something that we are working on and not fully mastering yet.
Yeah. So computing power and actually making the calculations fast enough
Yep.
is one of the,
It's one of the challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could add to that, if you would ask me what am I proud of, I would say with our new platform, we were able to give insight into our ER department. They want to know which beds in the hospital are free and how many are free, so they can quickly make sure patients get to the right department and have a bed free in their own ER area. And they didn't have this insight before. They really actually had to go call around the hospital to find out. Now we are able to offer them this insight in one view every 15 minutes, really helping them. But if we look at obstacles, we are now able to do that during working days from 9 till 5. And actually, they also really need it in the night and in the weekends. And we're still in the process of how do we make sure we get the data from the EHR into our data platform more frequent and during the night and during the weekends, and how can we make a reliable loading process there.
Yeah.
So that's really an obstacle, but hopefully we
It's
will
still
tackle it.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also for the people who watch the show. I mean, maybe it's very recognizable for them. This obstacle is very common, and at least you're improving. So what I was also curious about is hospitals. You work in a chain of different parties working together. Are there some regional or national collaborations, Mark, that you can elaborate on in terms of data and AI?
Yeah, one I like to mention is the collaboration of 7 large hospitals in the Improve collaboration. We are part of that, where we try to work together as hospitals to make data available and make it combine the data of all the hospitals to improve the various models that we use. But I also like to mention a recent development called Cumulus.
Yeah.
Recently, Cumulus is established as an organization with the goal to provide patient data for all healthcare organizations in the Netherlands. It's still in its early stage of development, but a lot of ideas and a lot of architecture is being worked out. It's a very interesting initiative, and I really hope that this succeeds, because if we solve this problem nationwide, it's good for our individual hospitals, because then we don't have to do everything ourselves, but it will always also have a huge impact on healthcare in the Netherlands. But it will take many years from now.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, and actually to standardize the definitions of patient data is something that Cumulus works on.
Maybe that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Maybe the technology part, we will solve that. I'm sure of that. But the definitions is, a huge thing. Yeah. The good thing is that since, I would say, a couple of years, physicians are starting to understand that that's the real problem and not the technology. So we're making progress there, for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. So in general, they also say, like, technology is not the problem, but the people is the problem, and the people who discuss about things to solve. So that's, I think, it's very common in a lot of sectors. Rixt, I can imagine that there are some hospitals, maybe even healthcare organizations that are really trying to experiment with data and AI. What are your recommendations in general to even start with data and AI? So do you have some tips or recommendations?
So based on what is our approach, I think first of all, it's good to be aware that you don't have to develop everything yourself. So at least we see 3 different ways of implementing AI. That's either to buy an application, to co-develop, for example, within the Improve network, or to develop on our own. And in either direction, I would say the most, at least a very important step is actually in the beginning or before you start to really focus on the business value. So what use case are you actually trying to solve, and really invest your time in getting that very clear. We developed a data and AI canvas, how we call it, that gives us a structured approach to really identifying what is the real use case and what solution would fit with that. And I think, if you're starting out now, I would say start small and start by finding very concrete use cases, just a few that seem feasible, and just start from there, and don't try to make it too big at once. Don't try to build the whole technology before you start working on use cases, because then you get lost in all the technical possibilities, and they come second, I would say.
Yeah. And a lot of organizations, they have problems with data fundamentals. So having the data in the right place, in the right order. Do you have some recommendations in terms of that?
Yeah, well, I would think if you're just starting out, you can start by using just the data sets, right? You don't have to have the perfect data architecture to be able to start adding at least some value. And I think by doing that, you also get a clear picture yourself, and more concrete picture yourself of how do you want to structure your data. And I think data architecture is something you really have to think through, because once you have it and you have something, it can become a mess if you didn't consciously decide about it, and then you're stuck with it. Mm-hmm. So I would say for starting small, you can use data sets and just start quickly, but then use that experience to think about what is your data architecture and how are you going to build it up.
Mark, in order to make people enthusiastic also internally, how do you actually build a solid business case in order to even start with data and AI?
Yeah, full-blown business case, we don't believe in that. But as Rixt already explained, we start small, learn fast and scale up when there is a clear success. And maybe I can give an example of that by the introduction of Copilot in our organization, maybe in a non-clinical setting. We have two challenges there. One challenge is the costs related to using Copilot. It's pretty expensive if you give it to all employees in the organization. And the other one is privacy of data. The system can collect data from everything you have in the cloud where it has access to. So it can have access to data that is not meant for certain employees to see. So what we do is we created a small pilot group of roughly 20 people across the organization, within communication, within HR, within ICT, etc. And to cover the privacy risks, they sign a small NDA where we stimulate them that if they encounter some data that are not for their eyes to see, mm-hmm. that they give it to us the information such that we can improve our data labeling and monitoring, mm-hmm. To make sure that we have safe use of the data. Mm-hmm. And because we do that in various areas of the hospital, we try to find where are the use cases that really benefit from the use of Copilot. Mm-hmm. We know from Gartner research that a lot of people that get a license for Copilot do not use it after 2 months of usage. So with this pilot, we try to limit both the financial risks and the privacy risks, and get people enthusiastic about what the system can do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So in order to really create those enthusiasts also about giving back when data comes to their department but is not for their eyes, that process is very important, right?
Yeah, especially with patient data, it's very important that no wrong data is going to people that are not allowed to see that.
Yeah. Interesting. So to wrap up, I can imagine, Mark, in your role, it's very important to also have a vision looking forward in the future and see what the impact is of data and AI in the future. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I can try. I think when you are in the beginning of the hype cycle, you should be careful not to overinvest in promising technology without knowing where the benefits are. But when the technology matures, you should not underinvest. And I think that's very important. And the technology is maturing very fast. So I think we have a careful look at what tools are becoming available with the right maturity level to incorporate into our production environment. And by building the capability of understanding what AI is and how you can use it in the processes, we don't mind too much about what technology will be mature in a couple of years. We will switch to other tools if they will work better, because we understand how we can improve our processes. And then I can summarize with where I started, because of the 3 tracks that we have in our vision: the continuous optimization of our technology foundation, the activities to optimize our processes and to transform when necessary. We think we are ready for the future by having this capability in our organization.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for your important insights and for your participation in this talk show. Rixt, also very interesting insight from your side, and I think a lot of hospitals, but also healthcare organizations can learn from your talk. And thanks for being here in this talk show.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Want to learn more about this topic? Download this white paper from Digiteum. You can find the link in the comments. Digiteum has established itself as a trusted partner in the healthcare sector and beyond, serving as the official technology partner of Diaceutics, Sanofi and Oxford University Press.